Hey, we're about to start the show, and you know the drill. If you've been here before and you have something important to share, please add a capital letter Q to your comment. And if you are watching live for the first time, please let us know by writing the word new, and we'll give you a nice little welcome. Enjoy the broadcast. Wow, we're just getting started and I already spotted an awesome question. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it when there's great questions in the audience. Good morning, everyone. This is Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together where we try to connect with all the good news we can find or the helpful, useful, inspiring news we can find. We try to connect with Mexico's way of life, our culture, our history, and today we get to do all of the above because it's Gay Pride weekend, and we had to include some Gay Pride content, and we are going to do that. And then I received a wonderful, unexpected surprise just as I was preparing today's broadcast. Breathe, Paco, breathe. So I'm very happy to be here, and I hope you are too. I hope you have great plans for the weekend, and I hope you'll stay cool because it is a scorcher out there. Let us dive into the news. First and foremost, Laura, I'll have an answer for you in just a second. But first, let us talk about the mayoral candidate debate that took place yesterday at the local campus of the Guadalajara University. We knew this was happening. Oh my goodness. And in terms of participation, 6 out of 7 candidates showed up, and everything was fine until a group of women wearing hoods to protect their identity entered the auditorium and began yelling accusations against Luis Munguia, the candidate for the Verde or Green Party. That's when police got mobilized and people were not able to get in and out of the campus, but what can I tell you? That's the way it went. Do we know who won? Do we know who gave the best answers? We don't, because most of the local papers are just reluctant to name a winner. We do know that one candidate was missing, and of course that is Chuyita Lopez, the wife of former mayor Luis Michel and candidate for the Morena party. She was missing in action yesterday, and we had previously announced that she would not be attending. Her campaign manager held a press conference announcing that she would not be participating out of dignity because, according to them, she never received a formal invitation. Of course, the Jalisco Electoral College quickly discredited this statement, showing proof of the invitation that was officially sent to the representative of her party. People in her inner circle, and this is totally hearsay, claim that she is not all that smart in front of the camera, let alone in the middle of a debate with more seasoned politicians. But what do I know? And even though there was no winner, when you ask some people who fared best in the debate, well, Luis Munguia of the Partido Verde claimed that he was the winner after presenting clear and realistic proposals related to the needs of the population, such as water, security, and economic and tourism-related development. He does talk the talk, but will he deliver? Well, this, of course, remains to be seen if he wins the election for the next Puerto Vallarta mayor. And, of course, the gay parade is on, and I mean literally on, as we are enjoying this broadcast, but who is actually watching the parade? Quite unexpectedly, Muffin, as in Logan, as in Muffin on the Move, shared some videos with me this morning as he was enjoying his morning bicycle commute to work, which happens to go along the parade route. And we will take a look at these videos right after the weather break. But first, let's take a look at the weather break And then we'll take a look at these videos. And then we will also examine Mexico's most infamous gay scandal, which some of you may know about, but then again, some of you may not. But first, the news, and let's see what Snarky Weather has to say. Oh, that's total deja vu, because it says, you know what's weird? Every time you eat Indian food, the weather coincidentally gets worse on Uranus. That's what Snarky Weather said just a few days ago, so I'm not buying that. It is 29 degrees, though. It is hot out there, and it is humid at 58%. And our weather forecast says that today will be humid with clear skies throughout the day, high of 31 and a low of 21. Then tomorrow, Sunday, will be a humid day with clear skies, a high of 30 and a low of 21. And we will begin the work week with a humid day, mostly clear skies, but a few clouds may be wandering around. This is on Monday. And we will enjoy a high of 31 and a low of 22. So, as I was mentioning, I was minding my own business this morning, and I was putting together our program for today, and I happened to receive a number of videos from Logan that he was filming with his helmet cam. Thank you, Logan, for not holding your camera with one hand and trying to ride your bicycle at the same time. I was not expecting these, so it was fun to see, number one, Logan's commute. Number two, how many people are out there at this time of day. And number three, how many people are actually showing up for the Gay Pride Parade, which is happening today. It's supposed to have started at 10 a.m. And if you're wondering who decided to have the gay parade on a morning instead of the usual afternoon and evening route, well, that is a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but let me share this thing that I quickly put together. These are the videos that Logan kindly sent to me this morning, and thank you very much for that, Logan. This is right by the Sheraton, of course, and you can see that all the floats are getting ready. That's a lot of floats. I do hope that a bunch of people will actually show up. And there he is.
Hola. Hi, everyone. Buenos dias. This is Muffin on the world, reporting live from the Vallarta 2044 Pride Parade here. I had to head down to the office. Today is payroll, and I'm coming down my regular route, and suddenly I see all these boats in my resident. Today's the parade. I'm a bad gay. So we're going to continue on the route here. That's the route I take almost every day to get to work, and it happens to be the parade route. So let's continue down the route. If there's anything else to see, how the crowds are forming, if there's a lot of people, not a lot of people because of the hour, I will keep you informed. Here we go.
So there goes Logan.
Here we are in Pico de Diciembre, and this is like, I think the parade's supposed to start in about half an hour. This is one of my favorite spots to watch the parade. If you are concerned about crowds and being a mob scene, well, that is not the issue. This is right along the parade route. The parade is supposed to start in half an hour. And you can see how interested the community is in coming out to support this parade. So maybe there's more people down on the Malecon. We will find out. So this looks like a typical Saturday morning in May, just like any other morning actually around this time of day in May, the last few weeks that I've done this commute. This is what it looks. Who would think that a parade would be coming by in about 20 minutes? I sure wouldn't think so. Oh look, rainbow flags. So this is about the most excitement we've seen so far along the whole route. Gotta hand it to them. This looks fun. If I knew these people, I'd come hang out with them. Although they do need some shade. And besides the shade that I'm throwing.
You were throwing a lot of shade.
So we have families taking statues of the Malecon. This is a big stage they're setting up, but this is for the upcoming dual anniversary for the city. That's on the 31st. And we love our sand sculptures. And so there is a race that's been going on this morning. Looks like there was some kind of 5K or 10K associated to Pride. There's like rainbow lanyards and stuff. There's some fun fellow cyclists here getting a refreshment. And of course, the mandatory photo op by the Vallarta letters. This is the finish line for that 5K or 10K I was mentioning. Looks like I will be able to go through. This is my normal route. Okay, so there are a bit of people finishing the race. And then the parade will continue down Morelos Street, Calle Morelos. But I'm gonna go down the Malecon. So as we can see, the parade's about to start 10, 15 minutes. And everyone seems involved in doing other things, which is perfectly fine.
Oh, you are a bad gay.
So here we are on Calle Olas Altas, very festive and everything, but no hay gente, no hay nadie. I suppose everyone did learn their lesson from years past where the parade completely snubbed the street despite the route. So it's pretty much the end of the route, I guess. And here we are. I'm off to work. Those who do go to the parade, I hope they enjoy it, and I hope more people do show up here in just a little bit. Have a great weekend, everyone.
And that was Muffin on the Go, Muffin on the Move. Thank you so much, Logan, for sending me these beautiful videos. Everyone, if you bump into Logan, buy him a cocktail. He just sent this out of love to his camera and out of love to Coffee and Headlines, I suppose. And now I want to tell you about this very sordid episode of Mexican gay history, which you may or may not be familiar with. And it all starts with this illustration. Actually, I don't want to block this at all. Let's see, what do I want to do? I want to do this, which is a little bit easier for everyone. This is an illustration by Jose Guadalupe Posada, and we know the name of this artist engraver because he is the one who gave us the iconic illustration of the Catrina, you know, the skulled lady. And we've talked about this primarily around Day of the Dead. As you can see, this illustration depicts a bunch of men wearing tuxedos dancing with women, but these women happen to be to have mustaches, bigotes, mustaches. That's a difficult word. Mustache. All of them have a mustache. So this illustration, it was actually through this illustration that the whole country, the whole of Mexico, came to learn on November of 1901 of the most infamous gay scandal in our country to date. The illustration appeared in local newspapers along with a little poem, as was a tradition at the time. Remember, there was no photography available to newspapers. So newspapers relied on engravers to tell the news. And of course, Posada made these engravings, and then he added little poems that he would write himself. We call those poems calaveritas. And this poem talks about the 41 fags, and that's the word that I choose to use, even though it's offensive, because maricones is an offensive word, and that's the word on the headline. About 41 fags that were found dancing together in a private home. But what actually happened? Well, a policeman was patrolling around Mexico City's historic center, and then a loud party in a private home caught his attention. The party was raided, which was, by the way, illegal, and 41 attendees were arrested. Half of them were wearing men's clothes. Oh, they were all men, but half of them were wearing men's clothes and half of them were wearing women's clothes. But soon it was revealed that there were not 41 men present at the party, but 42. So who was missing in the report? A certain Ignacio de la Torre, a young, very successful, upper-class businessman and politician at the time, and one of the first men in all of Latin America to own a motor car. He was totally cutting edge. But it was not bad enough that Ignacio de la Torre was a prominent member of Mexico's elite society. He was engaged to marry Amada Diaz, who happened to be the daughter of Mexico President Porfirio Diaz, and not just any daughter, the favorite one, and not just any president. Porfirio Diaz was the dictator that remained in office for decades and was eventually dethroned thanks to the Mexican Revolution. So what was this Ignacio dude doing at the party? Well, he had a double life. He liked men. He was bound or wanted to marry the president's daughter because that would give him all kinds of political advantage. But the reality is that he liked men. He became obsessed with one that turned him onto these parties, and boom, he was spotted there. And as much as they tried to protect him, it pretty much became news. And of course, President Porfirio Diaz could not have been more furious. And as a result of this, the number 41 became an evil number in Mexico. For many years, there was no floor number 41 in buildings. There were no license plates or passports that included the number 41. There were no military brigades there was no such thing as the 41st Military Brigade. Ignacio de la Torre went into exile, and most of the men that attended the party were sent to labor camps in rural Mexico, where many of them perished. Scandalous. Now, this is beautifully documented in the 2021 film Dance of the 41, which is now available on Netflix with English subtitles. I remember going to the movies to watch this film with Logan. And when we watched it, first of all, I think we were the only two people in the audience. So we were able to be like really queer and yell out all kinds of things while the movie was going on. And I remember leaving the movie thinking, I really hope they subtitle this, because it is beautifully done. The film beautifully recreates the circumstances that preceded the raided party and the consequences that followed. And it is a great thing that the film is now available on Netflix and it has English subtitles. I found a beautiful account of the incident and also of the film in an English article by NBC News, which I will include in today's show notes for you to learn more about this very scandalous incident. And before we turn over to your comments, we do have this that I wanted to share with you. Apparently, the Sunday afternoon concerts at the Isla Rio Quale lawn must now be a thing, as I found another one announced. This is tomorrow from 3 to 5, and folks are encouraged to bring their own chair or blanket or make a picnic. We can all be grateful to the Vallarta Garden Club for organizing these concert series. And now let us, whoops, wrong button. Let us switch over to chit chat mode just to see what everyone is doing today. And I see a lot of wonderful good mornings as always. Albert, I know that you're meeting with Brian and Chris this weekend. I've asked them to spank you on my behalf. And why not? That is just an affectionate spank, of course. Let's see. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Laura and her wonderful question. Good morning from rainy, cold Surrey. Have you ever taken a tour to Tequila for a tequila tasting tour? Yes, I have, and I strongly recommend one. I think there are 3 ways to do this. One is the way I did it at the time. This was through Superior Tours Vallarta. And Superior Tours was at the time doing a series of weekend shopping trips or overnight shopping trips to Guadalajara. And that included stopping at Tequila and going into one of the haciendas. I think it was Hacienda Jose Cuervo. I honestly don't remember. And you tour the hacienda and you get to learn more about the history of tequila, and you get some great tasting and opportunities to shop for tequila at discount prices. This is one way to do it. Another way to do it, and this we have mentioned announcements of this in the recent past, there is a local, as in Puerto Vallarta, local bus touring company that will get you to Tequila and back on the same day. You obviously leave at an ungodly hour in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning. You get to Tequila, you have lunch, you experience the tequila factories and whatnot, and then after that, you get to come back on the same day and arrive in Puerto Vallarta late in the evening. That sounds a little bit rushed, but for anyone that does not want to complicate themselves doing it, I would certainly do it. This is probably not a bus that is as comfortable as the ETN bus, and it will take at least 4 or 5 hours to get there. But I suppose if you're going with a buddy, that is a fun way to do it. And the third way to do tequila tours would be to leave from Guadalajara if you're already there. There is a train tour that is very expensive. Never done it, but it is definitely on my bucket list. You take a train from Guadalajara to the town of Tequila, and on the train ride you're tasting, and you get there and you're tasting, and you come back on the train and you're still tasting. So it's got to be one of those things in which you want to stay hydrated. And of course, if you want to do it on your own from Guadalajara, there are buses that can be taken, and I'm sure you can get a taxi and whatnot. So there you go. Is it worth it? I totally think so. Because not only do you get to see the tequila factories, but the town of Tequila is supposed to be really beautiful. Unfortunately, when I did it, I only went to the tequila factory. I've always wanted to see the actual town, so that is on my bucket list. Yes, happy birthday, Linda. I hope you have a wonderful birthday today. Let's see what else we have. What? Oh my goodness. Christy says, you're spending the day with Lucy Givens? Please say hello to Lucy for me. I remember her fondly, and I hope she remembers me. One of the first American or English-speaking people that I met in Puerto Vallarta shortly after I arrived back in 2001 was Lucy Muñiz, because I was looking to meet local English-speaking folks. And I remember thinking, well, I might as well volunteer for something. And there were these pasta cook-offs at a restaurant across from Lucy's Cuckoo Cabañas. And I went to volunteer for the party, and that's how I met her. Let's see. Let's see. Another great question. Where is the best mercado en 5 de diciembre? Well, the municipal fish market in Colonia 5 de diciembre is the place to go. You can find it on Google Maps. It is called Mercado del Mar. And I think it is also in our own reference map, the one that is available on Coffee and Headlines website. I'm sure that I put it there. And if not, I will check to make sure that it is included on our very own reference map. How do you get to the reference maps? Just go to paco-ojeda.com and there is an option on the top menu. Mark reports, last night we went to a concert at Casa Velas here in the Marina. A string quartet comprised of 2 violins, a viola, and a cello did a tribute to Coldplay. Not a fan of the band, but the players were brilliant. We already bought tickets for the next month for the Queen tribute. It's put on by candlelight and well worth checking out. I have heard, thank you for that report. Excuse me, I have heard of these candlelight concerts, but don't know much about them, I am afraid. Let's see. What else do we have? If you're a bad gay, Logan, I am a worse gay because this year I'm not participating in anything. Call it lack of time, call it lack of enthusiasm, call it working on Coffee and Headlines, which certainly takes a lot of time, and I'm not complaining. That's just what I do, and I love doing it. Let's see what else we have. Thank you, Paco, for mentioning LGBTQ Mexican history. Very important to know if we are part of the LGBTQ TTI plus community. Porfirio did fight on the side note on the side of Benito Juarez during the French invasion. He later became dictatorial. Yes, this is true. Thank you very much for that. Betsy comments on the movie. The movie is brilliant, but I cried most of the time. It affected me a lot too, but it was fascinating to watch. Again, you can find it on Netscape. What am I talking about? Netflix, not Netscape. Netflix, and it is beautifully done. Remember when we went, Logan? I remember that. Let's see what else we have. Oh no! Unfortunately, Chris has a cold, so we are not getting together. I am so sorry to hear that. Chris, you better not have a bug when you come home on Sunday, and I hope you feel better if you're watching this today. Oh, and Angelica, I didn't know today was your birthday. Happy birthday to the both of you. Tequila train sounds like fun and lots of drinking. 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila. Oh, yes, absolutely. Again, I haven't been because I seldom spend enough time in Guadalajara to take a whole day off to do something. But maybe one of these days. Well, if Lucy totally remembers me, please give my love to her and Gil. I hope they're doing okay if they are spending time up there. Let's see what else we have. Ta-da-ta-ta-ta-ta. A weekend trip to Tequila is an amazing adventure, well worth it. You can even stay in a huge tequila barrel. I have seen that hotel. I have thought about spending an entire weekend in Tequila, Linda, and the only thing that has prevented me from doing that is the time that it takes to get, I'm speaking from the point of view of not having a car. You have to go into Guadalajara and you have to go by bus to the Zapopan terminal, and then you have to walk half a block to the other bus terminal that is nearby for the smaller bus companies and wait for a bus that'll take you to Tequila. So I would imagine by bus it would take between 6 and 7 hours to get to Guadalajara, make the connection, and take the other bus. So it's a little bit too long a time. But I never say never. Maybe one of these weekends I'll just do that and spend the whole weekend in Tequila, which is a pueblo mágico in the state of Jalisco. And this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. So, as always, I thank you for joining me this morning. I thank you for your contributions, your questions, your comments, and I hope everyone will have a peaceful, not very hot weekend. I will stay cool as much as I can, and tomorrow will be a relaxing pool day for me, courtesy of some dear friends. I will see you on Monday morning for more headlines and more good times. Thank you very much.